The first rays of dawn pierce the oppressive darkness of the imperial chambers, not to awaken a slumbering king, but to confront a man already burdened by the weight of an empire. He is Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, standing at the precipice of another day that will demand his every ounce of wisdom, fortitude, and resolve. Yet, before the legions, the courts, and the crushing responsibilities of Rome descend upon him, he turns inward. This is not a search for power, but for peace. This is the quiet hour where the emperor sheds his purple and consults not with advisers, but with the eternal philosophy etched onto the pages of his private journal, Meditations. Imagine the cold marble of the palace floor beneath bare feet, the silence before the city stirs, broken only by the crackle of a lamp. Marcus Aurelius rises not to revel in his supreme authority, but to brace himself against its immense gravitational pull. He understands profoundly that the outward show of power is but a fleeting shadow, and the true empire lies within. This is the central paradox. The man who commands the world must first command himself. He grapples with the vastness of his responsibilities: wars on the Danube, plagues in the city, rebellions in the provinces. His private reflections are not about strategy or conquest, but about resilience, virtue, and the sheer burden of doing right by millions, even when doing right is agonizingly difficult. His morning ritual is a Stoic recalibration, a conscious effort to prevent the diadem from crushing the soul beneath it. Each morning, Marcus Aurelius faced not just the day's tasks, but the stark reality of its end. He knew intimately that life, even an emperor's life, is but a breath, a fleeting moment in the cosmic sweep of eternity. The grandeur of Rome, the clamor of the Forum, the very fabric of his existence, all were destined for decay and oblivion. This contemplation of mortality, far from inducing despair, served as a potent catalyst for purpose. It stripped away the trivial, focusing his mind on what truly matters: virtue, duty, and the present moment. He reminds himself that the universe is change, and life is but opinion. To cling to anything, to anyone, as permanent, is to set oneself up for inevitable suffering. This daily acknowledgement of finitude sharpened his resolve to live each moment as if it were his last, with dignity and unwavering commitment to Logos, the universal reason. From the personal, Marcus's mind expanded to the universal. He would zoom out, seeing Rome, himself, and all human endeavors as tiny specks in the immeasurable expanse of the cosmos. This view from above, a core Stoic practice, allowed him to detach from the immediate anxieties and trivialities that often consumed others. He saw himself as a part of a larger, interconnected whole, governed by natural law and divine reason. Every event, every person, every fleeting moment was a necessary component of this grand, unfolding design. This perspective instilled a profound sense of humility and interconnectedness, reminding him that his individual good was inseparable from the common good, and that resistance to the natural order was futile. It fostered a deep acceptance, an amor fati, a love of one's fate, no matter how arduous. Perhaps the most vital of his morning exercises was the discipline of perception. Marcus understood that external events held no inherent power to disturb him. It was his judgment about them that created distress. His journal became a training ground for controlling these judgments. He would remind himself to strip away the emotional overlays, the opinions, and see things for what they truly were. Is this thing in itself good or bad, he would ask. He taught himself to categorize, to discern what was within his control, his thoughts, actions, reactions, and what was not, everything else. This mental discipline was his inner shield, preventing the slings and arrows of fortune or misfortune from penetrating his tranquility. It was the unwavering commitment to seeing clearly, without bias, without passion, but with reason. Having mastered his perceptions, Marcus then turned his attention to his actions. For a Stoic, virtue is the highest good, and virtue is expressed through right action, especially action that benefits humanity. He recognized that as emperor, his every decision rippled across millions. His mornings were not just about personal peace, but about preparing himself to act with justice, courage, wisdom, and temperance throughout the day. He saw his work, however arduous, as a service to the polis, to the cosmic city. To shirk his duties, to indulge in laziness or self-pity, would be a betrayal of his nature as a rational, social being. His philosophy was intensely practical, demanding not mere intellectual assent, but relentless application in the world. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This was the unspoken imperative of his morning. Central to Marcus's morning meditations was the acceptance of what is beyond his control, the discipline of will. He knew that even an emperor cannot command the tides or reverse the march of illness. Seneca, in his letters, often spoke of the futility of fighting against fate. Marcus internalized this, striving for a state of tranquility not by altering external circumstances, but by altering his relationship to them. This was amor fati, the love of fate, embracing everything that happens, not merely tolerating it. He sought to align his will with the will of nature, to see every obstacle as an opportunity, every hardship as a test of his virtue. This profound acceptance allowed him to navigate immense personal losses and imperial crises with a steadfastness that astonished his contemporaries, transforming potential suffering into a path for growth. Another essential part of his morning preparation was steeling himself against the inevitable disappointments and frustrations caused by other people. He knew that throughout the day he would encounter malice, deceit, incompetence, and ingratitude, but instead of reacting with anger or bitterness, he cultivated understanding. He recognized that others' flaws stemmed from ignorance of good and evil, not malicious intent. Epictetus, his intellectual grandfather, emphasized that external actions of others are not in our control, only our reaction to them. Marcus would remind himself of humanity's interconnectedness, that even those who wrong him are his brothers, part of the same divine reason. This profound empathy, born not of sentimentality but of rigorous logic, allowed him to maintain his composure and act with justice even towards those who seemed least deserving. Ultimately, Marcus Aurelius's morning meditations were about building an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind impregnable to the assaults of fortune, external events, or the opinions of others. This inner sanctuary was not a place of escape, but a place of strength, where reason reigned supreme. It was here, in the quiet solitude before the world erupted, that he fortified his soul against chaos. He understood that true freedom came not from external liberation, but from internal mastery. By systematically practicing these disciplines, perception, action, and will, he constructed a mental architecture capable of enduring the greatest pressures imaginable. This citadel was his true empire, far more enduring than Rome itself, and it was a refuge he could retreat to at any moment, regardless of his external circumstances. As the first true light of day painted the Roman sky, Marcus Aurelius would conclude his solitary communion. The world outside his chamber might still be in disarray, demanding endless attention and difficult decisions, yet he emerged transformed, not into a different man, but into a man more fully himself, aligned with virtue, prepared for duty. His morning meditations were not a one-time spiritual awakening, but a rigorous daily training, a conscious commitment to philosophical principles. They were a reminder that peace is not found in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of an unshakable inner calm, cultivated through relentless self-examination and rational action. Each sunrise offered a new opportunity, not for new glory, but for renewed purpose, to be a better man for the benefit of all. And so, as the day truly begins, as the doors of the imperial chamber swing open and the duties of empire flood in, Marcus Aurelius carries his inner peace with him, not as a fragile shield, but as an integral part of his being, forged in the quiet hours of dawn. His meditations are more than a philosophical text. They are a testament to the enduring human struggle for tranquility amidst chaos, for purpose in the face of futility. He teaches us that the greatest battles are fought not on battlefields, but within the confines of our own minds. His morning ritual, performed 2 millennia ago, remains a timeless blueprint for anyone seeking to navigate the complexities of their own lives with grace, resilience, and unwavering moral clarity. The emperor's pursuit of inner peace was not a luxury, but a necessity, a profound act of self-mastery that allowed him to serve the world while remaining true to his deepest self. And in that, his wisdom echoes across the ages, calling to us even today to seek our own inner citadel.